Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a woman who's laying inside of a mud pit while recording this episode.
I'm sorry, you couldn't hear me through the mud.
You went. You were all the way in there.
Yeah, I mean, I had to use my trusty axe to what was that? A wood fiber string.
Yeah.
To pull myself out.
You
Hooked it on the closet shelves and.
That lavalier we bought is paying dividends right now.
Yeah, definitely.
It's nice.
I'm actually sitting next to a real live predator right now.
It's like you're one of those NFL sideline reporters that has just one of those great condenser microphones, and all you hear, you're like one of those guys who records people who record while like a hurricane's happening.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
just whooshes, but then you hear your voice really clear.
Yeah, it's perfect audio quality.
We spent a lot of money.
Yeah, definitely.
On this. But Megan, I was just thinking, the Predator franchise does love mud. First film, Arnold, muddy. Danny Glover doesn't get
no, he's full mud.
Full mud. He went 100% mud. Danny Glover, not too much mud.
Well, there's not a lot of city mud.
That's true. It would be more grime.
Yeah, like maybe some street wet splash mud.
His shirt does get very dirty.
Oh yeah, and he goes through that meat factory.
Yeah, so he has gross meat and salmonella and mud and
nasty
city water, all that gross stuff. Then Predators, Adrian Brody, Mud City. Mm-hmm. Just mud. I like Mud City. I mean, that's his new name. Adrian Mud City Brody.
Mud Planet.
Mud Planet. And then, let's see, Prey. I mean, a mud pit is basically a side character. Muddy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a thing that comes back and it gets used multiple times.
Muddy the Mud Pit.
Oh, I like it. It's a character.
Mm-hmm. So I've been living in the Predator mindset for a long time because for Rotten Tomatoes, there's a show called Versus, and Mark Ellis is the host. He's the writer, and I pulled research for it, and I pulled research on Alien vs. Predators episode. So I went through all the Predator movies again and just absorbed them. And then I did a Prey vs. Predators episode for them. And then you and I also did a Predator 2 Final Fight episode with Adam Hodgins.
Awesome.
So we've been really in the Predator mindset. I've also talked about Predator, Predator 2. The only Predator films I haven't talked about are Prey and AVPR. So we're knocking that out. So the only movie left I have to cover on Movies, Films, and Flicks is AVP Requiem.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'll have to get to it sometime. Because there's a Pred Alien. I mean, the gore's good. It's not great. But I'm just, Meg, I'm really happy that we're talking about this film, Prey, because this was announced several years ago. Dan Trachtenberg directed it. He directed a movie called 10 Cloverfield Lane with John Goodman. I said John Goodman should have gotten an Oscar nomination for that movie. It's a really good chamber thriller. And then this one, they're like, oh, hey, we're going to have a Predator Yautja versus Comanche movie, which is crazy.
So cool.
And Dan Trachtenberg directed it. Then you and I are Legionnaires. We're big fans of the TV show Legion.
Oh, is that what we're called?
Yeah,
I love it.
I just made it up, but it seems right.
Yeah.
So we're Legionnaires, and Amber Midthunder was on the show, just beating people up all the time.
Oh, she was fantastic.
Fist fighting legend.
As one of the carries.
Oh, she's just so cool. And we love that show, so whenever someone from Legion pops up, we're like, hey, that's Legion. Doesn't matter who. If they're from Legion, we're like, oh, Legion's in it. So we see somebody from Legion, we're happy. So Amber Midthunder, even when she was in the Ice Road with Liam Neeson's, I was like, yeah, this is great, even though it's a bad remake. Yeah,
she worked at a convenience store, I think, or something?
No, she was one of the drivers. She worked in a convenience store in Hell or High Water.
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
And so, even...
Hell or High Water. Such a good movie.
So good. Listen to the episode. Yeah, but whenever she turns up, we're happy. And then just hearing these two together. And I think the main thing I love about Prey is that it's gone back to sort of the simplistic plot elements. So you and I, we watch Predator. It's about a bunch of burly men fighting something that's tougher than them. Predator 2.
No, wait, what is the description? A sneaky alien monster?
So on Roku, I used the voice command because I'm lazy. And I just went Predator. And it popped up and it said, a sneaky alien monster battles like beefy men in the jungle.
It's so true. With its sneaky, what do you call it? It's cheap shot invisibility armor.
I mean, listen, it has a blaster cannon that's heat sinking and it's invisibility. It can jump from trees. It's cheating. It's like the dudes who sit in a stand and just wait for someone to come by and pop it. Like, it's not ultimate hunting. Mm-hmm. So it said that, and then I love the simplicity of it. Predators 2. You get a little involved with Gary Busey's crew, what do we call them, the khaki crew? But then it's just Danny Glover fighting a predator, a very aggressive man.
Yes, an overly aggressive or something in his police profile. And then very funny.
AVP got a little convoluted, but I love that movie. And then Predators comes back. It's just a bunch of people on a hunting planet, which is cool. But then the Predator happened, and while I understand the movie and I like the idea, it just got too involved.
I don't know how to describe it. I'm at a loss for words. There's just things happening in that movie.
You know, Benicio del Toro was supposed to star in it, and we like Boyd Holbrook. He was really good in Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Benicio pulling off Shane Black dialogue would have been pretty awesome.
Yeah, maybe.
So he had to bail out of that, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun elements to it, but it's just a lot. And
they don't necessarily all go together.
No,
I think that's the problem.
I mean, I don't think I'll ever really dislike it because it features Thomas Jane. It features a lot of people I like, but it's a lot. So it's nice having Prey back to just
symbol.
Yeah. It's just Naru versus the feral predator, Megan.
Ooh, is that what they call it?
That's what they call him, the feral predator, and he's played by Dane DiLiegro. And did you know that this guy, they wanted this, you're going to like this, they wanted the feral predator to have a balletic svelteness.
Ooh.
Yeah. And they said something feline, panther, smoother, that's very in tune with the forest. Feral was another word thrown around. Primal, something very instinctual and very in tune with nature. And so, like, he could run through trees because he's done it a lot. He's just one with the woods. He understands it. And the guy, he also had to learn, so he's 6'9". He had to lose 25 pounds to play the character, and he had to do parkour.
That's a lot of weight.
Yeah. And so it's really interesting because...
That's more than our baby.
he had to lose a lot of weight, and he in AVPR, you have very remember you watched Predators and the Berserker Predator with the jawline? You're like, what is that?
Yeah, he looks like a stormtrooper predator.
Yeah, and they got beefy, though. They got very muscular.
Oh, it's funny you say that. I read in Collider that this quote from the director was that he wanted it to be more creature-like, more visceral, and get away from the bodybuilder wrestler look.
They got beefy.
Yeah, so, toning down the balletic thing, being more slim, that's definitely moving away from bodybuilder for sure.
Now, I got something to say to you. Nathan Leahy, we did an episode about Predators versus Ewoks, and he said that since this is a prequel, the Predators don't have all that tech yet, so they're pretty chill. Like, they have to hunt themselves. He has to go retrieve his arrows that maybe his great-grandpa Yautja gave to him. So, but in the future...
Great-grandpa Yautja.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And he's talking about how... And he also said that in the future, later on, they have those shoulder cannons, they have invisibility, like really sophisticated... They have more sophisticated hunting techniques. So they just got kind of beefy. They just worked out more. They don't have to run as much.
Oh, okay.
So that's Nathan's theory.
That's interesting. And then the mask or the helmet is much more bone-like at that point, and not all shiny and...
When he takes it off, you don't hear...
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he doesn't have the little compression hoses, compressed air.
This is just an old-school feral predator battling French fur trappers. Who are... The French fur trappers, I'm not going to condone their killing of buffalo, but they set a pretty good trap for this. I mean, they did. My one complaint about the feral predator is the feral predator got its foot stuck in a trap. Mm-hmm. When you call yourself a predator,
that's not showing up on the heat scanner.
Yeah, but wouldn't you think? Like, wouldn't you be like, why am I walking through this really ashy, fiery thing that could take my invisible... Like, so they put a lot of ash in the air so they could see it when it turned invisible. Yeah. So you think the feral predator would be like, maybe I should watch where I walk.
Maybe, but it also seems like this is maybe its first encounter with humans.
It's true.
Because it is going after... There's sort of a hierarchy of the way it's hunting on this planet. It gets dropped off there. Like, what did you call it? A space Uber or something?
Space Uber.
Space taxi. So first he starts observing a rodent eating a bug, and then a snake eating the rodent. And then he kills the snake. And that's sort of the first level. And then he moves on to, there's a rabbit that's eaten by a wolf. And he goes after the wolf. So he's sort of moving up the chain as far as our predators on Earth here. And then a deer. And then a bear. And then people is sort of where he lands. So maybe he wasn't familiar with us and our primitive devices.
No, that's a great point. And it's just getting used to the world. And listen, too, like, that's not something you expect. Like, I bet you that thing is pretty used to people being afraid of it, not trying to catch it, if that makes sense.
True, and like you were saying, that is quite primitive technologies, and while this is an early predator, it's still more advanced technologically than we are with all of its little devices and gadgets and weapons that are pretty cool. So, I mean, with the level of weaponry we have today, I don't think I'd be out walking in the woods thinking I'm going to get bit by a trap.
Yeah, that's true. No, you're right. Okay, I've watched this movie 5 times, and I don't like it when he kills the wolf. And
yeah, it's lame.
it's like, hey, I have giant spikes and I killed a wolf and I'm invisible. And
Right.
then I'm going to cheer about it. And then I'm going to put like, I don't know, what is it? Condensed air acid onto its skull and then put it onto my belt.
It's really earning that sneaky alien monster title.
Just killing the wolf. Let the wolf eat, man.
And the wolf goes after it. So does the bear.
Yeah.
Good job.
He shoulder presses a bear. He doesn't bench press a bear. He takes 1,000+ pound bear that has been gutted, puts it over its head, and then its entrails and blood spill all over its face.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that.
Ew, no.
Meg. But this is
If you were an alien?
This is a cocaine bear. And it's gotten to the point where it's like Jason Statham from Crank. And it just has to be stopped.
Listen, I'm still rooting for a cocaine bear to live because it's not his fault.
That's very true. But think about it, Meg. Let's say, okay, it's cocaine bear, but bitten by a zombie. So now it's a zombie cocaine bear.
Okay, that's a different story, yes.
All right. And then the blood won't turn me into a zombie, which, I don't know. Maybe I'm immune to it. But if you saw me press a 1,000-pound bear over my head and then its blood just spills all over me, you'd be like, that dude's tough.
I'd be like, ew, you need to take a shower.
Get that zombie cocaine bear blood off of you.
Mark, come on, stop playing around.
I'd do it. I would. I mean, I'd probably die horribly and then be a zombie and probably attack you.
Oh, no, see, that's not good.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. This is a sad story.
It is.
But I love that scene with this feral predator. And but see, I just love how, I'm telling you, I just love how simple this film is. And also, just watching Amber Midthunder carry the screen for this movie's 90 minutes.
I love it. Respect my time all day, and it's just in and out. And it's like we were saying, the story is simple, and that makes it fantastic.
I mean, it's almost 100 minutes, but 90 minutes and then 8 minutes of credits. Actually, every single Alien, a Predator film, is under 2 hours.
Oh,
which
that's
is pretty
nice.
cool. And this is only the third fresh one of the franchise. All the other ones are really rotten. Like AVPR is 12%, AVP is 22%, Predator 2 is 31%, The Predator's 34%, Predators is 65%, Predator's 80%, which blows my mind. Should be 158,000.
What?
Right? And then Prey is 93%.
It deserves that.
And also, too, you all know something interesting?
Yes.
Predator movies that feature a Yautja losing an arm have a 55.75% tomato meter average.
Oh.
Predator movies that don't feature a Yautja losing an arm have a 38%. So it's better if the Yautja loses an arm.
Okay, well, makes sense here.
Shoot off them arms.
Right?
Blow off them. Okay, I'm gonna rank the 4 alien scenes where aliens lose their arms.
Okay.
Oh, this is tough. Okay, so we have the Predator, the shield comes on and wipes off the Super Predator's arm.
Mm-hmm.
In Predators, Adrian Brody cuts its arm off with an axe. In Predator 2, Danny Glover saws off the thing's arm with the blade before it can pull the chump change move and blow itself up.
Yeah, and then it has to bash some tiles and mix a little chemical plate and try to attach or regrow its arm.
And then Prey, she catches it to a tree, then its shield goes out and then blows its own arm off.
Yeah. That was a slick move. It happens so fast, too, that you have to sort of think about what happened.
I like all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say Predator 2, because there's an entire subplot about that arm.
Oh, they have a whole thing on the side about fixing the arm.
Okay, and then I'm going to do Prey because it's slick. Like, Naru's a beast.
Mm-hmm. Then
I'm going to say Predator 3, because Royce still has to cut off the arm. And then 4, I like them all. But it goes from most awesome to least awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's my ranking right there. How do you feel about
I agree.
That? Can I read one cool thing I did while I found out while researching this movie too?
Mm-hmm.
So the cinematographer, Jeff Cutter, said that the approach that we talked about was to be as ultra-naturalistic as we could be. Not to sound too weird, but to respect nature and to respect the landscapes that we were afforded to shoot in, as opposed to trying to overly stylize things or overly complicate things. Let the beauty speak for itself. The less that we could affect it, the less artificial light. I think it's just a general approach and not putting anything between the audience and the film. So I love that. Like, you know what I like too, Meg, is how many times do we watch movies and I notice the lighting? I'm like, why is it at night and why is that chair lit?
Why is Tom Cruise sitting on a beach with the most massive hair light on his head while he faces the ocean at night?
I love Top Gun Maverick, but come on now.
That's the one thing.
But this movie does. I don't think you ever noticed the lighting.
That's a great point. If you think about it, it's very natural to watch. It's all about what's happening with the characters.
And when you said during the final fight, which I love, she had the fire going, but also the green blood acted as lighting, which you noticed, what I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's funny. You do often notice when we watch an action movie, this was cut too early, or there's too many cuts in the action, or they're not showcasing a person. They're looking at something over here or there, and it's not a very good action scene. You always notice that when we're watching, and I don't feel any of that in this movie.
The one action scene I'm not totally a fan of is when Amber Midthunder's Naru beats up the French fur traders, but it's a stunt double, and we never see her face the whole time. Like, they did their best not to show her face, which kind of bummed me out, because she's awesome. But yeah, they kind of cut her out, but it's still cool watching Naru wipe out fur traders.
Yeah, she's awesome. I'm so happy to see Amber in this movie, and it was really fun to see a movie about the Comanche people. And there's even a cool dubbed version in Comanche, which I have read from multiple people. This is the first time that was done for these people. So Jane Myers, one of the producers, is a Comanche and Blackfoot Indian. And they brought her on, the director brought her on because he said she was like the character Naru. She's a warrior. She fights for what she wants. She was a badass. And she said that this has never happened for her tribe before. So, and then in a similar response, Amber said she hopes that they do more of this and more people see these people doing their own thing. Amber Midthunder said that she's never worked on a movie with so many Native people and how comfortable that was.
Oh, that's awesome. And you know what helps too is they went all the way up to Canada. They went outside and around Calgary, like in Alberta, Canada, and they were shooting at the Stoney Nakoda Reserve Land.
Yeah, and Amber is a Nakota, so they're similar but not the same people. She said it was cool to work with people who had similar culture and practices to her.
And this movie looks great too, because I don't know how much you know about the original Predator, but I think they went down to Mexico to shoot, and it was just they were in the jungles, and you could feel it.
Oh, you can see it, yeah.
You can just feel it. And as much as I love the big gag in the beginning of Predator 2 where they make the kind of LA seem like a forest, but then it goes to LA.
Oh, the pan out, yeah.
And, I love Predators. They did shoot in Hawaii, but they also shot a lot of it in Austin, Texas, and you kind of feel the set a little bit. And so with this one, you could tell that they're on open land using natural light, and you get that. I like that vibe of it. I think that really does a good job. I mean, it's where they shot The Revenant.
Yeah, on top of being a really fun action movie and sort of suspense monster, it's also beautiful.
Mm-hmm. How'd you like that oneer with...
Oh, in the beginning when
Naru.
They walk through the camp? That was a cool scene. So the camera starts out behind her and you're sort of observing the camp, and then you go around and you see your main character.
So, and you know what? I noticed it was a oneer, but it's not, it's not... What's the word? Sometimes you watch a oneer and
distracting,
you're like,
or
oh brother, so there's no point for it.
Well, yeah, a lot of time they're treated as their own cool element of the movie. They're calling attention to it, and they want you to notice how impressive it was and how much, I'm assuming, rehearsal goes into that and whatnot. But this didn't do that at all. I even read that the director was reluctant to do them, and he wanted to rebel against them, but ultimately they went with it and it worked.
I think the best oneer is when you maybe later on realize it, or you go halfway through, this is a oneer. Like,
yeah, that's what you did.
And sometimes sometimes I notice a oneer immediately, and I just go, oh brother, like, come on, like, it's like,
yeah, it's so obvious, and they're calling attention to it, and it's just.
And this one,
let me watch the movie.
And she's going through her camp, and that's what it is. You see the camp. And also, too, the use of overhead shots in this is really good to kind of give a sense of geography and how far away she is from her camp.
How vast the forest is as they walk through it.
I dig those overhead shots. And this is random, too, but I was talking to Johnny Numb, who's one of my favorite movie critics. He's on the MFF show a lot. We were talking about our favorite monologues of the year. And there's an amazing monologue in Pearl by Mia Goth. Mm-hmm. And then there's a great monologue by Rebecca Hall in Resurrection. And he was asking which one people liked. And you and I watched Pearl together, and we love that movie. But you can feel that monologue. You can just she's doing great, but you're oh, she's monologuing. But with Rebecca Hall, she drops a 7-minute monologue. I didn't realize it. It wasn't until I was writing the review and researching the movie that I realized she dropped a 7-minute monologue.
Huh.
That's good acting, at least for me. Because never once I go, oh, she's monologuing. Like, I didn't even catch it until writing the review. So I think those are the best. I've watched this movie a bunch of times, and this is the first time I've noticed there was a oneer.
Yeah.
So, I think it feels naturally and organic into it. Okay, Meg, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Of all the final fights in these movies, so we'll do Predator,
Oh, goodness.
Predator 2, Predators, the Predator, and Prey. We'll leave out the AVP movies. So how would you rank them?
Oh, gosh. Probably, so I think the original is probably the best. It's longest, it's got the most going on, it's sort of epic and very earned in the conclusion. What's the second one?
You know what I like about Arnold in that final fight is he was at the height of his powers, and he still put himself in a movie where he just got he's schnockered by a much larger creature. Like, he's not... There's some movies, I think, where people have too much of an ego to get hit around.
Mm-hmm.
And he just gets obliterated by this thing and only wins because of a trap. Like, he's done. And I like that. I know I'm applauding a man for doing what's right, but when you're that big in the world and you can be that selfless and just be beat up on screen, I dig it. So that's my favorite too.
I think Prey second, just because I really like this movie. And it's not earned so much in the final battle. It's stuff that she's wisely... This whole movie is a little subtle in the fact that things that happen in the beginning appear in the end. The orange flowers that she uses multiple times throughout the movie, and they explain the uses and why they're so smart. The mud pit, the axe on a string or a rope. So it's a very subtly building movie, and she earns things throughout the movie, not just in the final battle, which is cool.
Yeah, she built, and then she knows about the helmet.
Yeah, the helmet. Oh, there's a lot of callbacks. The arm is a callback. The face paint that she does by the fireplace is very reminiscent of... I know it's a piece of cultural, but it's also, Arnold gets all mudded out and he does the symbolic face paint. The lights and the fire, all of that are great callbacks in this one. Then I think maybe Predators.
With Adrian Brody?
Yes.
And Sonia Braga?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like that Sonia Braga saves him too. She pulls up her gun after being, she got poisoned by serial killer Topher Grace.
Ugh, what a turd.
The Predators caught a serial killer. I've been talking about this for years, but they caught a serial killer, Megan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're better than our FBI.
Of course.
Like Mindhunter, Yautja.
Yeah, we should do that one.
I would pay him. Like, listen, aliens, we'll give you 40 warriors a month to hunt, but you just got to catch 3 serial killers for us.
Mm-hmm.
So you just do a trade.
That'd be cool.
I mean, it's morally and ethically wrong, but we have serial killers off the streets.
Right? And that's the type of people they like to hunt. So, Hey, why not?
If you can find serial killers and all the worst of the worst, take them, hunt them. We'll train them for you. We'll put them through boot camp, and then we'll send them to your planet. Gosh. But yeah, so all right, so you have Predator, Prey, Predators. Now
Predator 2. It's a little bit silly. It goes on forever. And I do love that about it. And I love the piece on the shuttle at the end where he sees them all coming out of the mist and they reward him with the gun from Prey. That we find out the pirate captain, the French guy, he was actually in this movie, so we got to see who he was before he gives her the gun. And then the Predator last. It just wasn't very exciting.
No, it's just very CGI-y.
Yeah, they're on top of a ship and then they're on the ground and just, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that I love it. I just like final fights.
And you do.
These are all fun though, and you know what with Prey too. I think you nailed it too, where she just learned throughout and then used everything at the end. It was cool, like the spikes on the tree. Like I know that thing will climb trees. I know it'll come down. It can spike itself, and then the arm getting cut off. Like that's a really cool pull right there.
Well, her mom does tell her in the end. She says, "Why do you want to be a warrior? You have so many talents," and she really uses a lot of her talents throughout the movie. So that's kind of cool.
Because y'all think I can't be one.
Yeah.
And
she can do it.
She was from Legion. We're Legionnaires. She's from it. And then what do you think about Dakota Beavers as her brother?
Oh, he was great. I mean, he has that sort of male bravado and people have told him he's great and expect him to be great and they don't expect the same things from her, which she resents. And he does have a moment where he snaps at her and plays into his own ego, but he really is good. I mean, he shoots down that hawk at the beginning. Yeah. He goes and finishes off a lion or a panther that was after her.
Mm-hmm. And he puts up a fight against the Predator. Then it goes to its cheap invisibility.
Exactly.
Or the Yautja.
But they knew about it too. He knew. He presented himself as the threat, and he took it for her so that she could beat it.
He was dodging arrows and he stabbed it through the chest.
Oh, doesn't he ride the horse around and he's leaning off the horse?
Yeah. And
Some great horsemanship.
He's just looking cool. And he said, I need horses. And you know what I like too most about this movie is whenever the Comanches do come across the Yautja, they put up a fight. They stab it in the leg. I like the fight where those guys are jerks and they beat up Naru.
They're the worst.
But when the predator comes at them, they flank it. Like the guy comes from the side. And they actually put up a really good fight. They're not afraid to fight it. And I thought that was really neat. And also, Dakota Beavers said this. He said, I saw certain people talking before the previews came out about how are these people with sticks and rocks supposed to defeat the predator, Beavers said. And I would like people to know that they are intelligent, that they were very capable people, and they flourished. And so he wanted to, it was a pretty hopping area, very skilled people. And he's like, just because it was a little different than their neighbors across the pond doesn't mean they were inept. They were very capable and very intelligent people. And I mean, it's bad that a movie has to show that these characters were capable, but it's really neat watching them and the way they hunt. And it's such a different way to shoot it, and I dig it. And I think they succeeded. There's some good jump scares in this movie too. It's not afraid to make you jump. The skinned snake jump scare, the mountain lion jump scare. It's not afraid to kind of wake you up every now and again.
Yeah, it has a couple of horror elements. It's funny you mention those because I don't think I noticed them.
I jump so high during movies. I make you jump. But yeah, it's cool though.
Wait, what just happened?
She's like, there's a reason this mountain lion's out of its cave. It's kind of...
Oh yeah, that's a great mention too. She notices that it's not just on the prowl going after them. Something has displaced it.
What a jerk.
Right?
Comes to this planet, kicks a mountain lion out of its crib, and then takes it. And then just uses it for skulls. Feral predator. Mm-hmm. What a turd.
Yeah, they brought back the whole, steam its skull with acid vapor or whatever.
There's I think if you're a fan of the franchise, there's a lot of neat Easter eggs and callbacks here that don't feel, you know them, but I don't think they ever fully take you out of the movie. When you see it, it puts more of a smile on your face, not just kind of cynical.
I think there's a lot of nods with it still being its own movie.
Absolutely. What do you think about the button pushing by the Yautja in this one? Do you think it's better than... Because remember in Predator, you said the Predator was a jerk because it blew itself up?
Yes.
What do you think about the button pushing in this movie? Do you think it's better than the other movies?
Yeah, I mean, it isn't something that stood out to me, like the one in Predator where he flips his thing open and he spends a long time, he does the slide. Then there's a bunch of on the four things, lots of back and forth, and then it starts the timer and he's going heh, heh, heh.
That's pretty iconic.
Yeah, this Predator doesn't ever sink into that.
Yeah, the Predator, so it touches this up button, then a down button, then a slide, then it touches the up button and a down button, then it touches that. I wonder if they actually figured that out, or they're just you know what, Kevin Peter Hall, just tap your...
just go for it.
Bop it. Yeah. It's better than The Force Awakens, the new Star Wars trilogy. I'm not hating on that movie, but they flick a lot of switches in that movie. Very unnecessary.
Switch flicking?
Well, they get in the Millennium Falcon and they're just hitting buttons like...
Was it as good as Rooster and Top Gun Maverick?
No. Just listen.
I don't know. That was really your dad's area.
I would say the top 3 button pushing scenes of 2023 are Top Gun Maverick. Some of the best I've ever seen. Minions, The Rise of Gru.
Okay.
When the minions take the airplane off, they're flicking on the switches. And it looks pretty good because they don't know what they're doing. So we'll just try anything.
Yeah, so Minions, they just go for it.
It's organic flick, switch flicking, knob turning. And then this one, because it just felt like here's a couple buttons, boop, 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 bop. And then there it goes. What'd you think about the attack on the French fur traders in the pit when he takes the trap, flips it up in the air and throws it at the guy and blows off his head? When the guy shoots at his helmet, it bounces back and kills him. When he has the guy against the tree with his shield and then decapitates him. What do you think about that action scene?
It was great because it was a nice action scene. It showed some ingenuity on the fur traders' side, using the smoke and the sort of burned down trees to see him through his armor. But also, it was a great showcase of all the weapons that the Predator has, so we know for later.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. And it gave personality to the Predator too. The way it jumped through the trees, the way it the Predator has personality by flipping up the trap and then throwing it. I think that's a neat touch to give it some personality like the other ones do. It was like
a Predator universe take on the Bond Q scenes. Here's all my gadgets and this is what they do.
And he blows up all the traders. They stand around looking at the bombs. Guys, run.
I know. And then I mean, they're messed up. They're either dead or one's crawling back with one leg.
Yeah, they got hurt. Oh, man, I feel so bad for the guy, too, who could speak with Naru and gave her the gun. Because he would have lived, but the feral predator stepped on his leg and crunched it, and then the guy yelled and got killed.
Mm.
That was brutal. That hurt. That really hurt. But, I think MFF listeners are going to get sick of me saying this, but one nice thing about Prey and one nice thing about Predator, the original Predator, is that they're all incredibly capable people doing this. So I love Danny Glover in the second one, but he's very out of his league. He's a capable dude, but he just wins it out of sheer attrition. I think in Predators...
Doggedness just doesn't stop.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a capable person doing that. But then you have Predators where they're great, but a lot of them are just sort of cheeky and you never get to see what they're doing. That's why I really like Prey and I really like Predator. Because the French fur traders in this, they do a good trap. It just doesn't work. Naru, she's just a capable person. Even her brother, Tob, he is a very capable man. And so I dig that. I like movies where capable people fight capable things. Like, it just like Tenet. You watch Tenet, and that's all it is. It's just capable people being capable.
Yeah.
And like Heat, Mindhunter. I think those are some of my favorite movies. Like Jaws. They're out of their league, but they're all quite capable. Like Quint is an expert fisherman, even though he's out of his league. I just like movies about capable people. And it's just cool watching Amber Midthunder just... blow up yeah, I like it. Blow up the Yautja's head.
No training montages in these movies.
Oh, that'd have been pretty good, though. How long did it take her to make that rope, though?
Oh, that's a great question.
That's a big rope.
Yeah, it is. It ends up quite long. She starts by... Because she has to skin branches every time that she needs more material.
And then tie them together.
I don't know, maybe half a day.
I want that movie. Just that scene.
It's a YouTube video on how to make a... wood fiber rope.
But those Yuletide those Yule logs?
Yeah.
I just want one of those Yule logs where she sits in front of a fire and makes that rope.
I like it.
What do you think about her dog?
I love him. He's so cute. Her. It was a she.
Yeah, her. And doesn't die.
That was her first movie.
Really?
Yeah,
Coco
was a great actress, according to Amber. It was her first movie, and she had lots of energy, and she found it very entertaining, but when she was a good actress because you couldn't tell that she was always running around and jumping on things from what was filmed. That was the endorsement from Amber about Coco.
Yeah, so she was kind of a handful. And I have another question. How do you think War Chief got a bad knee? Because they said that she helped the War Chief.
By collecting the flowers?
Yeah, but why did War Chief have a bad knee to begin with?
Lots of walking and riding. It's got to be tough on the joints.
What do you think?
He's a tall guy.
Yeah. So you think he just... he's...
Old age, hard life out there.
Just had a general bad knee.
Yeah, why not? What do you think?
Probably went for a morning jog and fell in a badger hole.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah.
We've been watching Yellowstone.
Like one of the horses in Yellowstone.
And was it the Ballad of Buster Scruggs too? The badger holes? Or the gopher holes that the horses fall in?
Oh. Maybe he had one too many and fell off his horse.
Okay. Speaking of the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, you and I have to watch Old Henry. And if you're listening, you guys got to watch Old Henry. Because I want an Old Henry versus Yautja movie.
Oh, okay.
Tim Blake Nelson. Or TBN, as we like to call him. He's really good in it.
Sounds like a TV channel.
TBN. But, all right, so Meg, what are your 5 favorite moments in this movie?
Oh, 5 favorite moments. I don't know.
I'll put you on the spot. You can do it.
Well, this is hard. I hate it when you do this.
All right, can I do it?
Yeah, start.
Okay, so I know I love the trap when the feral predator flips up in the air and kills a French fur trader. I mean, he beams him right in the head with that thing, smashes him. That's really good. The scene where he steps on the pirate guy and he just screams and gets stabbed. You're into that. You feel it. I think when Naru takes the arm off of the feral predator because of the shield, that's a really good trap. When the bear is just drinking in when the Yautja is just drinking in all of the bear's blood while shoulder pressing it over its head. That's incredible. And then I'll have to say probably all of Naru's sliding. She slides 6 times in this movie.
She slides a lot.
She slides everywhere. You and I couldn't slide.
I couldn't do it. I wouldn't want to get all dirty.
I just can't slide.
Scrape my knees up.
I'm not a slider. That's how War Chief hurt his knee. Teaching her how to slide.
Yeah, probably.
There it is. That's how we learned it. So those are my 5.
Okay, so I suppose when she sets a trap for the mountain lion, she's up in the tree and she fights it, but then she falls. It was a great moment.
Yeah, that wide shot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the wide shot too before she jumps on the predator's head and starts axing
And
it.
that one. So when she jumps off the tree after she's lured him to her clearing for the fight, when she tricks the predator by eating the flowers, and then he kills the Frenchman, and she shoots him in the back of the head.
Oh yeah.
When she is fighting the bear and she hides in the log pile, maybe.
Oh yeah.
And
he's
her
just tearing it up.
and her dog is going after the bear and leads it away, and then it comes back at them. That's pretty awesome.
And you and I were really worried about that dog getting waxed, and it never did. So that makes me
Thank
happy.
goodness. I don't know. Last one, I guess when she comes back with its head and she's got the blood under her eyes like war paint.
Yeah, she looked awesome. Midthunder, Legionnaire. You said this movie should have been up for Best Picture.
It was on my top of the year for In a Perfect World.
Yeah, in a perfect world.
I mean, this score has an insane Rotten Tomatoes, or this movie has an insane Rotten Tomatoes score. It's fantastic. It's a great movie overall. There's really nothing wrong with it.
No, it's economical. It's well shot. It's not overly flashy. Good action scenes. Good actors. Straightforward story.
And I think you go through the movie and you realize there are long stretches where nothing is really said. Mm-hmm. You're just watching Amber carry. I mean, they've given her an entire Predator movie to really carry. And she's out there with a dog and a predator sometimes. This is fantastic.
They really trusted her too. You and I watch movies sometimes where we can tell that the actor is being sort of protected. They did not do her that with, I mean, she's an experienced actor, but in this movie, they were not protecting her at all. Like, she carried this movie. And it made me so happy to see. They just had full trust in her to carry those quiet scenes. And I love that.
Yeah, she didn't even know what she was auditioning for.
Yeah, it was a weird process, right?
Yeah, because it was at the beginning of the pandemic, and then everything stopped, and then it came back, and she didn't know what it was. She finally asked, after months after the pandemic stuff sort of died down, what it was, and they told her it was a Predator movie.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, she got it, and our people from Legion are blowing up.
Yeah, and the director called her and tried to bait her with a quote from the original Predator.
Oh, yeah.
What would you say if we needed to get somewhere quickly? And she did not get it at all. He goes, you're supposed to say, get to the chopper.
Wait, why do we got to go to the chopper? What's a chopper? A motorcycle? A chopper.
And he also used that on her brother Tabe, and he didn't get it either. So she felt good that they both failed.
Well, they're young.
I saw something funny. I guess Dan had made a few jokes about things they could say that would never make it to the movie, but instead of the chopper, the chop her because she has an axe.
Oh no, that's terrible. I mean, get to the chopper, and that's her axe, and then she uses it to chop.
Right? Ridiculous.
I might have cheered if they said that. It could never be in the movie.
Yeah, no, it would be too distracting, but it is funny.
It would have to be a blooper, like a gag reel type bit. But that's wonderful. All right, so Meg, before we get out of here, rank the 5 Predator movies. You can do it.
Oh, I mean, it's not that hard. It's basically the same as the ones that I did for the final fights. Predator, Prey, Predators. I don't know. Predator 2 and Predators are sort of tied for me. And then the Predator last.
I like it. Because, listen, as much as I love Prey, you can't beat the first Predator. You can't beat it. That's a movie right there. It's a really good movie. But Prey is so cool, and I'm so happy we got it. It was a good surprise for us because you and I didn't even know we were going to get it, and then I got the email saying that we had like an early screening for it, and we're watching it now.
And then we watched it again and again.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Again. And now we've watched it a couple more times.
And I'm happy that it's doing well. I'm happy that people are really into it. I think it's just pretty cool.
No, I was so excited about this movie. I was telling people to watch it at work, friends, everybody. You have to go watch this movie.
Okay, real quick.
Yes.
What do you think about our buddy Sanguinet?
Oh, right, from Shoresy.
He gets exsanguinated.
Of the Letterkenny universe.
He gets obliterated because he's going to go take a squat. And one of the main things of Shoresy is a lot of people
pooping.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? That he's like, I'm going to go take a squat.
I think it's He better worry about getting typecasted for being a pooper.
All right. Which movie has a better tall grass scene, Predators or Prey? So there's a scene in what kind of taller grass where the Yakuza hitman, kind of a taller grass moment, sword fights a predator, or do you like the tall grass scene in this where the predator sanguinate?
This is a pretty good one.
Yeah. Where would you rank this predator?
You can see it coming. They're sort of hiding. He's at that point, he believes her now, which he didn't beforehand. Then it wipes out 3 or 4 of his friends.
Destroyed.
And he helps her escape.
Mm-hmm. And then last but not least, where does Feral Predator rank alongside the other ones? Do you like the old school look of it, the more alien? This one's more buggy. The other ones became more humanoid. Do you like that look of it?
No, I definitely like the look of this one. And he's, lithe and tall and skinny, and he's not all sort of tricked out with space technology and tubes and stuff.
If Iko Ue was a Yautja, that's what this guy would be.
Yeah.
Whoa. I love it. All right, well, Meg, thanks for joining me.
Oh, anytime. Let's talk about Prey some more.
Okay, what else you got?
Once a year.
Okay. All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Megan Hoffmeyer, this is Movie Films and Flicks. We'll see you next week.